Hey, what's good, everybody? It is your man B Vaughan here with We Create Music TV. And tonight, I have an amazing guest here tonight. I have Melinda Santiago, who is an entertainment entrepreneur with over 25 years within the industry. She is also the CEO of the Santiago Firm, which is a celebrity and branding company. She's also the president and executive producer at the Santiago Productions, LLC, of course, which is a film and television production company. And she is the chief publisher at S Firm Publishing, where she published books featuring celebrities from sports, entertainment, and business. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Melinda Santiago. Yes. Melinda, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well on this evening. It is such a privilege and an honor to have you on our platform, on our show tonight. I've been looking forward to this interview for a while, and I'm glad that it's happening right now.
Likewise.
Yes,
Congratulations
yes.
on the platform.
Well, thank you. And so I always give people context to how I meet people. And so I met, my very first interaction with Melinda, I'm gonna see if she remembers all of this, was 2016, 17, I believe, around there. I found her on Twitter, Instagram at the time, and we had a mutual person that we know, Mike, at that particular time. And it was just great getting to know Melinda at that moment. And I've come down to Atlanta several times before I actually moved down here. I remember for me, what stood out to most was the birthday party at BQE. And I thought that was amazing that I was able to attend that. And just for her to include me in her life in some of those moments. So Melinda, thank you. And I'm glad that we have this chance to chat tonight. So
Right? Yeah, I do remember it.
Yeah.
I do remember it, and shout out to Michael 112, and like that was good times.
Good times, yes. So I always tell people when they come onto the show that these are not your typical interviews. I don't ask a question and then you respond and then I ask the next question. It's really just a conversation. And so we're going to talk about
Good, thank you.
We're going to talk about a lot of stuff because I got a lot of stuff that's on my list. Even though I got questions, people know I always still have questions anyway. But I go off on, they know from watching the show, they know. So Melinda, all right, so if you could just give us some historical context to how you got into this whole music world. What led you into this business?
It found me. It really did. I was working corporate for the longest time, and it just became, I would just meet random celebrities, athletes. We didn't have influencers back then because we didn't have social media, but actors and comedians, and it just randomly I met people, and I became very close with them platonically, knew their families. Anytime they came into where I was at, they would call, "Hey, Melinda, I need a haircut. Hey, Melinda, where's a good place to eat? Hey, Melinda, I need to do." So I started connecting the dots and just started putting people in play with each other and making introductions. And it was funny because there was a lot of people in the industry that never really talked to each other. And then when I put them together, they're like, "Why haven't we talked before?" So I kind of became the
plug.
Universal adapter,
Yeah,
the plug.
The plug.
I call myself the universal adapter, because the plug is just so industry, and I don't like those terms. So
I don't even know who came up with and why, but yeah.
Right, and then I ended up getting fired from my job, my corporate job, and it was like,
yeah.
And I've never been reprimanded before, never been fired before, never had any kind of issues at all. And it was just me saying, "Oh, wow. Okay, God, I get it. I'm not leaving these positions because I was comfortable. I was comfortable with the paycheck. I knew what I was getting every week or every 2 weeks. I knew how to set my bills up. And that was the only way was for me to get fired. I mean, I had a baby. I claimed bankruptcy. I lost my house, my car, like all within the same year, and the job. And it was like, okay, God, I hear you. The only way I can get to what I'm supposed to be doing, and the only way I can get to my calling is if you force me out and you force me to be uncomfortable. So yeah,
Yeah.
so then it was Daron from 112 was my first. Well, I got together with a group of ladies and we tried the management thing out. It just didn't work out. Too many moving parts. A lot of people kind of didn't know what it was, but because I had been around it, it was kind of my forte.
Right.
And Daron was my first client, then Michael McFadden, and then was Daron from 112. And then Michael came around, so I had Daron and Michael of 112. And then Blue Kimball, he's on a ton of stuff now. He's just evolving and he's going. I have the Nivea cruise. I have Scarface, Bobby V. I was working with just a ton of people.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing that sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone
Absolutely.
because the job can be something that is comforting. Like I know every 2 weeks I got money in my account, so I don't got to work as hard because I know. But
Nothing makes you grind harder than not knowing when your next paycheck is coming from. So you don't have you don't have the luxury of just kind of sit and chill. You just have to go beat that ground every day and go for what you want. And it created a freaking monster in me. Like, oh, the work ethic, crazy integrity. I live and die by the integrity of this business. I believe it's still there. Some components of the industry, there's not, but I truly believe what I bring to the table is integrity. And I don't know everything, but I learn as much, but I'm a grinder. Like I go for it. I never get comfortable.
right. Yeah, that's something I can attest to as well. I mean, from just what I know about you and the interactions that I have with you, you work, you grind. Like there's a lot of people in this industry that say they do stuff, but whew, I've seen it firsthand with what you do and the people that you've been involved with, and I've seen it, firsthand. Like wow, like she's on it. Like look what she's doing. Yeah, and I think that's something that speaks volumes, right? So you have that positive attitude, that positive energy, and that win-win mentality, which I love. And I did a whole series. Actually, I just dropped a video today. It was today that I dropped this video. I just did a 7 Habits for Highly Effective Music Creators series, and habit 4 is Think Win-Win, and that just dropped today. But I love that about you because every interaction I've seen you deal with has been that type of mentality.
I mean, it has to be a win-win. And there's always a win-win. It's just about people being able to communicate, people being able to think outside the box, people removing ego, people removing selfishness. And it's about what's the common good for both. There's always a win-win. It's just 2 collectives or 3 or more, whatever, coming together in an adult conversation and saying, okay, how do we make this work?
Right.
And it's about not being so self-absorbed and not only thinking about self. It's about thinking about the totality of the picture and the people that you're working with.
Right. Yeah, I mean, can I say that about the entirety of the music industry? I mean, would you say that of the entirety of the music industry, that it has a win-win mentality?
Absolutely. Again, you have OGs and you have nuance, and there's a common thing here. The blueprint remains the same. How you get to it, if you follow a blueprint and then add your own zhuzh to it, it's doable.
Right.
So the OGs have to come out of that old way of thinking, and the nuance have to respect the old ways of thinking so they can build off of that. That's the whole key to this. Like, you don't change the wheel, you just add to it as it fits,
Look, I'm gonna drop a gem on that.
There you go.
The gym. That's a gym right there. That's right. I need to get one of them things where the gems fall across the entire screen.
Oh, like Bigo?
Yeah, I haven't gotten one of them yet. I don't
Yeah.
know where to get one of them from, but I'm gonna find it. So all the gems just drop on the screen. But yeah,
Nice.
I think that's true. You have to have that type of mentality. You have to learn from those who came before and who did it before, but add your own sauce to it. Really
Yeah.
think about how you're able to utilize what I had somebody, Jeff, his name is Jeff Blackwell. He said he said old school rules with new school tools. And I thought
Perfectly
I thought that was a perfect statement. Like you
perfect.
right, Jeff, full of
And
wisdom.
again, it's one of those things, like, it's so simple. And I always tell this when I do life coaching or just do consulting, or just heck, having my own lives, and just talking about success. What's the measure of success? Is success measured by money? Is success measured by peace? Is success measured by being able to go to sleep at night with a clear conscience? What's the level of success? And it's getting people out of that it's my way or no way mentality, because not everybody's right. There's always different pieces that make it better.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Wait till I get to my synergy one on 7 habits. I talk about
Nice.
that right there. But yeah, so I think people just need to realize that from that perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love that. So I would ask, but I guess you already said it. What led to the development of the Santiago firm itself? How did you even say, you know what, I want to build a company around what I know how to do and how to do that successfully?
Well, as any new entrepreneur, I didn't know, I was flying by the seat of my pants, honestly. I was just grabbing clients, and, at one point it was like the Santiago Firm mob. Like, I had clients. I had clients in every part of the industry: radio, TV, film, music,
Wow.
DJ. Like, I had all of them. And so I got my feet wet, and also this piece got to work over here, this piece got to work over here, and I just kind of mobbed it out. And it was one of those things that, you know I it was a one-man show. I never slept. I was constantly just working, trying to figure out new plans, protocols, ways, creative ways. And it was one of those things, as any new entrepreneur does. Like, you just jump in and then you kind of figure it out later. And I knew the piece for me was becoming structured. And once I became structured, I was like, okay, well, in my business, I need an EIN number. In my business, I need to register it, so to protect it. Like, those are some 101s. And then the investment you have to make in yourself. If you're not going to make a monetary investment, you're going to have to make you're going to have to make a sacrifice of personal time. And I always suggest to everybody, you got to learn everything. And then you can bring people on board, you can micromanage. But yeah, I just had to get structured. But it was just me, and I love doing it. And I realized, oh my God, like, I'm so much better behind the camera than I am in front of it at that time, because I was trying to get the feeling. The feeling. But what I realized is, oh my God, I'm much more effective back here. I'm much more needed back here. When I identified the need of a good manager or a need of a good brand company, when I identified the need, that's when I stuck it in. I was like, all right, cool, let's go.
Yeah. I think sometimes, and I love that. I think sometimes people don't really realize, I don't want to use the term what positions they play, but kind of, or the term their lane. But, I guess just really realizing this is where I operate the best. And this is kind of where I can provide the most benefit to. Like, for me,
At that moment.
at that moment. That's right.
At that moment. Because you can be a superstar in several things, but you have to start with one, and you have to create the brand with one. Once that's established, and that normally takes about 2 to 3 years to really create, being consistent After that's done, now you can branch off and add different entities and other pieces under the umbrella.
Right.
But it's always about identifying the need first, perfecting it to the best of your ability, maximizing it, and then opening it up to bring other entities in.
Jim, did y'all hear that? Yes, yes. Like, I think, at least the first 2 years, those formative years, is critically important to the success of any entrepreneurial type business. If you're trying to just jump right in and do everything, you got to really think about, okay, is this, and I love the fact that the structure, because that's my whole thing, dealing with organization and dealing with structure and ensuring that, you have your processes and policies and all those things in place. Like, processes are critical because it outlines how you're going to do things and the approach that you're going to take. But I love the fact that you said that it was for that moment and not because sometimes people get stuck, and I've seen people do that. They stay in that particular role forever. And I've had people come up to me. Now, go ahead.
And then I'm not opposed to people jumping in. See, that's the beauty of entrepreneurship. You don't have to know where to start.
Right.
Just start. And then you figure that out along the way. Like, you know what? I need to get this done. It doesn't stop the show. It just may delay this piece over here. But I always encourage people, man, just jump in. Start. Once you start, you will figure it out. It's human behavior. It's universe. It will figure itself out as long as you apply.
That's right. Yeah, I had a pastor who would always say, it was a term, do it afraid. I was like, I love that term, do it afraid. Even because a lot of times, it's scary jumping out, being an entrepreneur. It's scary leaving my daytime job when I know I get that paycheck every 2 weeks, and to then just jump in and do what I feel my calling is or what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, I love that. Do it afraid. Just jump in.
Do it afraid, because if you're not afraid, you're complacent. You're comfortable.
Right.
Right. Even as you learn new things, and even our OGs, like, there's a consistent learning. There's consistent learning that needs to happen, So you gotta just jump in there, and I encourage everyone, just jump, just get in there,
just jump,
get in the game.
That's right.
Get in the game.
I think one of the things you said that's key is having a spirit of learning.
Yeah.
And learning on a continual basis, because sometimes people get in like, oh no, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do, so let me just jump in and do it. And it's like, well, wait a minute. There's things that you're going to know and things that you may not know, so you have to be open to learning those things as you progress at each of those, quote unquote phases. As you go through business. But
and you got to be okay to fail.
Oh gosh.
Like, you got to be all right with, oh shit, that did. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I?
No, you good.
Okay. Yeah, it's like, oh shit, that didn't work out. But did it kill you? Did it jeopardize you? Did it do anything crazy? Okay, no, it just stumped you and it made it a little inconvenient for you. But the lesson was locked. Okay, I don't need to try that again. But it's okay. And I think that's what I love about, like, with my clients. When we try things, I'm like, oh, that didn't work. But now that I know that didn't work, let me go back and finagle it, and let's find something that does work. And that's the beauty of it. It's about being accountable. Like, yo, I messed up. That wasn't the right shit. That wasn't what we were supposed to be doing. And, okay, so I jumped the gun a little bit, And when you're accountable and able to say, I was wrong, boy, that clicks up into your relationships, and that makes you so much more sought out.
Oh yeah. I mean, just because of that transparency and that accountability, you're building trust, and they can see you. Like, this is a trustworthy person, because you're not trying to hide it. You're not trying to point fingers and blame other people and say, no, you're taking ownership and saying, hey, this was my fault. So that didn't work. I own up to it, but let me figure out, and we can move forward in a different direction. That is a key skill of an effective leader within, and I'll say, not even just corporate America, in any industry. So
in any industry, and it's okay. It's like, if you're working with a team, there's so many years that I didn't get credit for the things that I did, because I was looking at it from a team perspective. I wasn't looking for the accolades. I wasn't looking for that. But I am going to say, it stumped me because when I started venturing out, people didn't believe in what I was doing. And I was like, well, I created all this other stuff, but because I didn't put my name on it, they didn't give me the accolades, or they didn't give me the just due, because I didn't do that. So if I had to go back and change anything, I don't think I would have been so, this is our stuff. This is our.
Like, no, this is mine.
Well, and it's okay as long as it's not overbearing. It's good to say, yo, this is our stuff. However, I need to put my name on it. So it's published somewhere that this was created by me, or this was produced by me, or this was, and I think that, is kind of jumping this, when I jump over to this other, it's like, oh, Melinda, we didn't know. Well, all that stuff that you saw, all that stuff that you were liking from those clients.
That's right.
So.
Yeah, and I think that's important for people to establish that name recognition, and have that be visible to others, so that they know you do this work.
Yeah.
That's how you continuously build your brand, and to continue to be sought after is by having your name on stuff, so people know this is your body of work, and this is what you bring to the table.
Right. And I learned that because I'm a humble person. So I didn't like talking about myself. I don't like taking credit, because I always looked at that from a team perspective, even though if the team would have won. You know what I mean? But anybody that was involved.
We did this.
Right. And so it took my business partner, Leon Cosby III, to really say, I'm in the Melinda Santiago business. He found me on Instagram or Twitter, and he came at me like, hey, I'm in the Melinda Santiago business. We're going to structure you up right, and we're going to start getting you the presence and the respect that you need. And I'm like, oh my God, me? No, I'm okay. I'm all right over here. But it does value in a company. And it's, I understand, because I see the effects of it now. People talk about me in LA. People talk about me in New York. They're talking about me in Chicago. Like, they hear the Santiago Firm, or they hear of Melinda Santiago, and it still wows me when I'm out somewhere, like, are you? And I'm like, oh my God, but I'm, like, I'm so off in the cut.
Right. Yeah, I remember we talked about that, about when you had that interaction with Leon, and how that pretty much just changed the dynamics of the way that you operate. And it's always good to have somebody like that, because we can get caught up so in the work, and we don't really see how everything is progressing, but somebody else is looking and going, if you do this, I'm telling you what I love. I don't know if you've ever seen, what's it called? What is the movie called? It's the Ray Kroc movie. I just can't remember the name of it. Oh gosh, I'm usually good with names of movies. But it's the movie.
I know who not to pick on charades.
Yeah, not this guy. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of that movie. But it's the one with, it has Michael Keaton in it. He plays Ray Kroc, and it talks about the McDonald's stories and how he ended up taking McDonald's from the McDonald's brothers. But there was a guy in the movie, I think he was a financial advisor, who came to him and said, you're not in the restaurant business, you're in the real estate business. And I'm going to show you how you're in the real estate business. And so from that moment on, Ray Kroc was not concerned about opening up McDonald's. He was more concerned with purchasing the land that the McDonald's was going to sit on. And if he was able to purchase the land, then he owned the rights to the land. And of course, he was out there selling McDonald's to franchisees, and so he ended up owning the land and the McDonald's that sat on the land. And
it's almost like it's like investments, right? People want to buy the iPhone. Oh, I want to buy stock on the iPhone, and I'm just using it as an example, right? But no, you need to buy the chips. You need to invest in the glass that makes the iPhone. You need to invest in the components that make the item.
You're right.
Like wheat, barley, beans. You need those kind of food. You need those ingredients to make the food. You don't want to buy this. You want to buy this because this is necessary to make this.
Right.
So it's the mindset, it's the philosophy of understanding wealth and financial wealth, and how how you make it work for you.
That's right. I'm telling you, that's a gem, y'all. Y'all don't even know. That's a gem. Because I see people do that all the time. They want to go out and buy this, but don't want to buy everything. And here's what I find crazy. Here's what I find crazy about it is that when you buy the ingredients, you can make more of that.
And other stuff.
That's right. And other stuff. And other stuff. But I think people get caught up in just this, whatever this may be, and they don't really take the time to say, well, what went into that? How can I get that?
They don't take the time to research.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I tell people, do you think it's because we live in a fast-paced microwave society that people don't take the time to do the research? They want it like right now?
I don't know if we are in the microwave society. I don't know if it's that or just plain laziness. They're just waiting for someone to give the information. I mean, I think laziness.
I've seen that a million times. I think they just want people to tell them how it is versus them trying to figure it out themselves or do the work that's necessary for it.
And do the work that's necessary. People want to take shortcuts all the time. And then those shortcuts, and then they want to blame. Oh, well, they said, well, did you research it? We have Google University. We have tons of tools so we can go and fact check, and recheck. Mm-hmm. But we just have laziness.
Right. Laziness. That's right. Y'all gotta stop being lazy. Get y'all butts
stop
out
being
there
lazy.
Working. Stop being lazy. So Melinda, for you've been in this industry for some time. You've garnered a ton of experience in many different areas. So for you, what were some of the major challenges that you faced, and how did you deal with some of those? How did you really overcome or deal with those major challenges?
The one major challenge is being the female out here. The minute we say no, we're deemed as emotional, or we're talked to or talked about like a bitch, or our sexual past is talked about, to kind of belittle us. So I think that's the biggest challenge. And it's almost like my no is the same as my road manager's no, but you're looking at my road manager like he's making decisions around here or whatever it is, and we work as a team collective, but it's when they bypass me because, oh, she's just a female, which, being in the game, was another benefit of having Leon Cosby. So the rooms that I know that I can't go in because I'm going to get looked at, instead of fighting it,
so
I send
crazy.
Leon in there. Go ahead, Leon, because they're going to talk to you. And same vice versa. The rooms that he knows he may not get further in because he's a male, he sends me in, and we just tag team, and that's how we become successful, because we're result oriented. So you have to learn the game, and then you step back from like, all right, now it's about strategy. It's all about strategy. It's all about assessing situations. It's about observing. It's taking your time and making the right effective moves. So, yeah. I think that's the biggest thing for me, is just the challenge of a woman being in there.
I hate that. Oh my gosh. I think that's the craziest thing. I think that is the craziest thing to me, is that I'm not going to listen to you because you're a woman. You don't know what you're talking about because you're a woman. I can't let you into this room because you're a woman. And it's like, wait a minute.
And it's not just that. It's also experience. Like, I'm a creative director. I see things and I create. Mm-hmm. And when I create the vision or I create the visual, it's like, oh, well, Melinda, you're just a manager. You're not a creative director. Just because I don't have the title on my back as a creative director. Like, there's so many levels to me, and there's so many levels of what I know how to do. I just show you guys this much of it, And that's the other part. It's just because I'm not tagged, or I'm not, oh, you've never done this before, which basically is like my book. I wrote the book, and I'm going to do a plug right now, right?
Yeah, let's talk about that. I have that on my list, but yes, let's talk about that.
It's a perfect example of people didn't take me serious. And I wrote the book, and I didn't write a how-to or business 101, or I didn't do any of that. I wrote a complete novel, fiction, because I have creative. And the results and the reviews on this are all 5 stars.
Five, y'all.
I'm
5
in
stars.
I'm in Walmart, and I'm not in Walmart because of my name. I'm in Walmart because they looked at the book and they saw the reviews and they said, wow, this is a good book. So they chose, as a publisher, they choose. You don't just, hey, put my book in your store. No, that's not how it works. Books A Million, Amazon, Walmart, all of my Barnes and Nobles, like my book is in there. But people didn't take me as an author. They didn't take me serious. They're just like, a book. Okay, what is it? Inspirational quotes. What is it? Business 101, because that's what they all thought. But then when they got the book, they were like, shit, Melinda, I didn't know. Well, and did I have a doozy writing the book? But it was the fact that I used to write when I was in high school. I loved creative writing. I loved writing. I used to watch TV film. I used to be in film lit class, just zoned in, finding, but I didn't have to apply it then. I'm applying it now.
Right.
But again, but now that I have the book out, oh, hey, Melinda, you are an author. Why did it take for me to put a book out in order for you to say you can write?
Right.
Like,
yeah, that's the thing.
I write songs, I create. I don't do producing, but in my head, I hear it.
Right.
And I explain, okay, this is what I'm looking for. So it's that. So that's the other challenge.
Yeah, I think it's important, even for yourself, even as you're saying it, and for anybody else who's watching now, and we'll watch this later on, is that you know who you are. You know who you are. Other people may not necessarily know. They may not be on board at that particular moment, but Melinda was already an author. Regardless of the validation of anybody else, the recognition of anybody, she was already an author. She was already a manager. She was already an entrepreneur. She didn't have to wait for somebody to validate that this is what she was. And I think it's the same thing for everybody else. You don't need for somebody to wait. Oh, I need for you to validate that I'm an artist, or no, I mean, you got to know your heart of hearts.
You'll never be validated. That's the thing. You can't wait on anyone to tell you what you are.
That's right.
It's like
y'all was that already. What you mean?
I'm just now showing you what it is, but I've always been this,
That's right. Always.
So
okay, so go back. Let's talk about the book. What was the motivation? So what is the book about?
Oh.
Yeah, so let's do that. And what was the motivation behind writing it?
Till Death Do Us Unpart is a fiction novel about love, death, jealousy, God, questioning your daily thoughts, questioning just workspaces, and it gives you a different perspective. Like, I had this idea. I wrote the script for this about 3 years ago, and I wrote it for Kevin Hart because I have Kevin Hart in mind for one of the characters in the book. And my mother had said something. I can't say it because then it'll give it away.
Yeah,
what the book is.
Y'all gotta read it.
Right, hold on one second. I got
Sure.
I had the low battery bullshit that happens.
Oh yeah.
So the motivation was just like my business partner, like, you got to write a book. You got to write a book. And I'm like, I don't have time to write a book. Who in the hell got time to write a book? You see how busy I am? Who has time? So I try to take a shortcut. I try to have ghostwriter. That didn't work out. I tried to have someone edit it. That didn't work out. And I realized, okay, God, I get it. Like, I have to do all of the work so then I can explain it, so I can talk to others through the process, and so on and so forth. But this book, when I tell you, you will find yourself in the characters. Not only will you find yourself in the characters, this is for atheists, this is for God-fearing people, this is for spiritual people, this is for religious people, because there's a lot of little messages through the writing. I'm a descriptive writer. So the feedback that I've been getting on the book is, wow, Melinda, I felt like I was watching a movie. I felt like I could see all the moving parts in it. And yeah, I mean, when I was writing it, I lost 3,000 some plus words. I almost threw my computer against the wall. And I tell this story because I think it's funny. My business partner, who's always positive. Hey, Melinda, don't worry. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe the reason you have a better message coming out. I'm like, no, The message I had right there was the shit. That's what I was supposed to say. And I lost it because when I write, I go into a zone. And, you know, it was funny because when shit goes to the left, you don't want to hear nothing positive at that moment. You don't want to hear, oh, it's going to be okay. No, how do I fix this shit? How do I get it going? How do I get that back? Right? But then about 2 weeks later, he was writing a business proposal for us. He called me and he said, I lost work. And then I'm like, everything happens for a reason. And you know, me and him go back and forth. It's like when I jump the gun, I like to say, I told you so. Like we have a really good working relationship. And I said, that doesn't feel too good, does it, in that moment? He was like, no, I get it. But that's the kind of fun. But yeah, what inspired me, and I can't say what inspired me because it's...
okay. Yes.
It's a niche in the book, but it's about, I'll read the back of it. And it's serious. She worked her ass off, finally getting everything she wanted in life, and nothing was going to stand in her way. Not other women, not society's hang-ups, and not even God. But everything comes with a price. So it's an easy read. The font is not a small font. It's an ebook as well as the physical book, Till Death Do Us Unpart. And we're looking to take it to film, because that's the whole part of S Firm Publishing, is all the books that we take in, we want to make them into films. So it's kind of like from the book to film. So yeah, it's a good read, but go to Amazon and look at all the reviews.
Oh, I did. I was like, yo, these are 5 stars all the way. Melinda, great book. I love the way that you develop the characters. I resonate so much with the characters in the book. This is an amazing read. There was even one person that called you Santi. I love this, Santi. This is awesome. I just love the way that you wrote it. And then, of course, you got Lily, who from SWV, as someone who has read the book and has said great things about the book. And also...
Lily Fair Gray,
Fair Gray, that's right.
Who is a best-selling author himself, world-renowned millionaire, self-made, and Malik Whitfield, who is, who played Otis on The Temptations, and he's done but he's another one. He read like an excerpt of it initially and was like, Melinda, I laughed out loud. He was like, and it takes a lot for me to, when you read a book, to get in. He was like, what's Melinda going to do next? Or what's this person going to do next? And I use characters, real names, that are important to me. So I put my girls in the book, their names, not their story, but I use their names. So then the audio portion of it is going to be super dope how I do it. It's going to be really a different way how you listen to audiobooks. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, go get your copy right now. Till Death Do Us Unpart.
Yep. So you can get it at Walmart. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it at all your, I guess, major book distributors.
Yep. Books A Million, Barnes and Nobles. But you know, of course, we're all online. So yeah, Walmart.com, Amazon.com, or you can go to my own personal website, which is melindasantiago.com for the book.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can't wait to read it and dive into it. I know it's going to be.
You should have read it by now.
I know, I haven't.
Interview with me.
I know. I'm sorry, Melinda.
Bro.
I'm sorry, Melinda. I haven't read it yet. I know. Bro. I haven't read it. I'm trying to finish this one book that I'm still trying to finish reading, which is like 900 pages long.
Well, throw it out. Start mine. I'm just playing.
I'm like, man, as soon as I can finish that book, oh my gosh. But, and it's not even like a fiction book. It's a music business book. And I'm reading it for a reason, and I'm reading it. People are going to find out by January of next year why I'm reading this book, but I'm reading it very slowly.
Good.
And highlighting things. And I mean, okay.
Take the
this
pieces
part
that
here.
fit you.
Yes.
Take the pieces that fit you and throw the rest of the shit out. But the pieces
Right.
that fit you and your design, utilize it.
Yep, you got that right. So, yeah, so everybody, make sure you go get the book. I'm going to go get
Yes.
it. But make sure you get the
Yes.
book. Make sure you check it out. Support Melinda. Like I said, she's an author, but she's been an author before, right? So support her and make sure that you leave an amazing, I know you're going to leave an amazing review anyway. I ain't even got to tell you to do that. It's gonna, once you read the book, you're going to be like, there ain't enough stars on here. So,
But I want people to leave the real review, how they really felt.
Yeah,
And what
real
what I
reviews.
love about it, I was very intentional how I wrote the book. And what brings joy to my heart is in everyone who's reached out to me, strangers, people overseas who's read the book, they're like, they got exactly the messages. And some said, I got to go back and read it again. And one person read it 4 times. And
Wow.
each time she said she got something new. And that's like a movie for me. It's like
That's
you see it the
awesome.
first time, you're like, oh, second time, I didn't catch it the first time. That's what this book does. Go get it. Till Death Do
Go
Us
get it.
Unpart.
That's right. I'm going to let me make sure I switch.
Till Death Do Us Unpart by Melinda Santiago.
Yes, and it'll be in the link in the description too. Once this whole thing is over, you can click on the link in the description and you can go right and purchase that amazing work of art
Book.
right there. That's right.
Feel
Okay,
like
so
I gotta do it like that.
all right, so Melinda, I am super interested in how you got connected with Bobby V and with Scarface.
Yo, so with Bobby, I was managing Raindrop Lopez at the time, and
Yeah.
we were at Sweet Lounge. It was about 8 years ago now. Yeah, about 8 years ago, when the TLC movie came out, and he came up into the club and he was like, "Yo," and I was like, "Yo," and then it was just I came on like a booking agent for him. He already had management, but I came a part of the team. And I just kept him working. I mean, every time I turned around and we fought, he said, "Melinda, you're doing too much." When I fought for his brand, when I fought for him and his value as an artist, I saw the potential in him that we've finally unlocked. And it's about moving with intention, not saying yes to every dollar. And now that he's moving in a different space, headspace, man, like we're going out the way. Now I'm his manager after like about 3 years now as manager. And we had the Millennium Tour. I had him on his own tour with the R&B Addiction Tour. We're getting ready to go back overseas in October for a whole tour overseas for October. But I keep him working. I keep him working, and he's started his label, VMG, Beltry Music Group label, and now he's a CEO of a real label. He's acting as a CEO now. He's moving like a CEO. He's finding new talent. Opportunities are coming because he's moving now with intention. And so now people who are coming to him, they have to come right.
You got that
And
right.
he sees the difference from moving erratic to moving with intention. And then Scarface, he's just, I don't manage Scarface, because Scarface is the kind of guy you don't have to manage. He's just so, anybody and everybody can call him Jay-Z, Beyonce, whomever, and he doesn't need me, but we work really well together. He is an amazing, smart man. And he, business-wise, I do this business deals with him and for him, and we really work together. Like he's a funny guy, but and people don't know, like, because you hear Scarface and you get all
Right, you're like,
intimidated
oh,
because it's
Scarface.
Scarface.
Ghetto
Man,
Boys, what?
When I tell you, he is the most funniest like he will crack jokes. He's funny. He's just funny, but an amazing guy. So we were on the Tom Joyner cruise when I was with 112, and we just started talking around like about business, and he saw how I was moving, and he was like, "Yo, hey, come on board." I was like, Bet. Like, I don't know nothing about hip hop. I'm an R&B girl. But the business is the same.
Right.
Regardless of what genre, the business is still the same. So he's just an amazing person. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. And
Yeah,
I've
seriously.
downsized now my clients to keep, it's really just those two because we just stay busy.
Oh, I see. I see. You know, I think I learned a whole lot about Bobby V from watching the Unsung.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, and all you know what was so this is what was so crazy about watching that is my wife and I were watching it, and I got up to go do something, and I heard your voice, and I was like, "That's Melinda." I was like, "Wait a minute!" I came around the corner, and you were talking. I was like, "Look, there's Melinda right up. Look
Yo,
at
let
that."
me tell you something. We filmed that and we had the parking lot concert like about a week before that here in Atlanta, right when the pandemic started, right? And I coughed really like hard. I was outside. I coughed really hard, and I busted a blood vessel in my eye
Wow.
right before we started filming. So in filming, they say you can't wear glasses, no sunglasses, nothing like that because of reflection. And I'm like, yo, I can't go on with this red eye like this. So we were sitting there trying to position how I was looking. How can you see it over here? It was like the worst. I said, I'm about to be on national television with a freaking red blood vessel popped eye. So, but they masked it good. But I had my glasses on. And I was like, but boy, I said, God, dog it.
Like how did that? Yeah, that look. That must have been a one hell of a cough to do, man.
Well, someone gave me something that I wasn't prepared for, and I was like, oh shit.
Oh, look, I know. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I
Thanks,
know.
Dawn. Thanks, Don Scott. Shout out to Believe in Our Vision, Don Scott.
But yeah. Like I said, I learned so much in that unsung. Like, wow, it was just a testament to the talent that
Yeah.
is Bobby V.
Yeah.
I thought
People
that was
didn't know a
amazing.
lot of that. A lot of people still didn't know he was in Mister. They didn't
Oh, I
know,
knew that.
like, Blackberry, but a lot of people didn't. And then a lot of
Yeah,
people didn't know why he had to change his name. And he
I
had to
knew
change
that
his
too.
name because of all that stuff.
Dude,
And
yeah.
because you actually follow him and you see what's going on. But you'd be surprised. But yeah, he's got to respect, man. He's been in the game so long, 25
Right.
years.
Yeah, and Bobby puts on an amazing show. I remember you invited me and the wife out to come see
Yeah.
him perform for his album release. That was amazing. Uh, yeah, we took pictures that night, but it was just fantastic the way that he puts on the show and the way that he really just gets involved in that whole thing. Him and
He loves it.
Devontae, him and Devon. I remember the first how you introduced me to Devontae Black. I forgot we were at I forgot the name of the venue. It's not even open anymore.
That's welcome to Atlanta.
Gosh, like I said, don't put me in charades because I'm not gonna remember. Oh,
Never.
I do
Never.
remember the name of the movie. It's called The Founder, though, but
Oh,
but I can't remember the name of the venue. It's where they do a lot of artists showcasing, and I remember you were there
what,
one night
Center
too.
Stage or Apache
Apache.
or
It was Apache.
oh,
Yep.
yeah, yeah,
And you
yeah.
were there doing a panel. I remember that. Yep, I
Yeah.
remember that night. But yeah. Like I said, I didn't know a lot about Bobby V and the things. Some things I knew, but some things I didn't. I was like, wow, like how many hits he had each year from his albums and his songs. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Bobby V was one of the
Is.
pinnacle is one of the pinnacles. I like that. Thank you. One of the pinnacles of R&B music, for sure, hands down,
Yeah.
hands down. So okay, I've asked a whole bunch of questions, but one of the questions I also want to ask is about the Melinda. The Melinda.
Okay,
Can't
we
even
can throw
talk.
a T in
Hold
there.
on,
It's
hold
all
on.
right.
Hold on. Get some water real quick.
It's Melinda.
For the Melinda Santiago show, how did that
Yeah.
come up?
So
Yes.
I used to do podcasts. I used to go on Periscope, and I'm just a comedian by nature. Like I'm impromptu. I just like having a good time, and people saw the conversation, and Michael and I had a podcast called the M Squad Show, which was hilarious, like a variety show,
Oh,
and
I
we were
remember.
building it, and like I said, it takes 2 to 3 years, and finally, someone caught wind of it, but by that time, it was already dissolved, and I was just like, just hold on, I know someone's going to pick it up, and someone's going to pick it up, and they tried to pick it up, but at that point, it was already dissolved. So that didn't see the day, but it was a good show.
M Squad was
synergy
hilarious.
Yeah, we had a great show, yo. We had a great time doing it too. Like, he's so freaking stupid funny. Like, but all of the
Yeah,
clients
he
are.
is, for
Bobby
real.
is hilarious. Like, Face is hilarious. Like, we just have really good synergy, really good energy. But yeah, it was dope. So then they approached me like, yo, Melinda, we like your attitude. We like what we see. Let's try the Melinda Santiago show. So we kind of played around with a little bit, but the network we were going with, they weren't prepared yet for the dynamic of what I was looking for. I don't like to do anything half-ass.
Right.
And they just weren't properly staffed, prepared to take on what I could bring. So I tabled that for a minute, did the book, and I said, I'm going to revisit it. When things started to get back to normal, because the pandemic hit, so all kind of staffing issues and scheduling issues, and I was like, okay, God, I'm going to table this right now, and we'll come back to it.
Yeah, because oh my gosh, y'all have no idea. If y'all didn't see it, the M Squad was hilarious. It was, oh my gosh, her and Mike were just crazy on that. It was, oh my gosh.
We did characters.
Y'all did.
This shit was funny.
It was hilarious. And if y'all, I mean, wait, can they still go hear that or listen to that?
I think there's still some episodes on YouTube. M Squad show with Michael Keith and Melinda Santiago. But yeah, it was just, and it was never scripted. Everything was just impromptu. It was a good show.
It was a great show. So I'm hoping that in the future that when they're ready for you, that and everything falls the way it may, that it takes off and that you're in that position to do it. Because if there's anything no, go ahead.
I just think that what I've learned throughout this time within the industry is I won't be successful with anybody else. I have to create my own success. So I know I'm going to have to build my own platform. I'm going to have to do that and then push my own platform to make it successful, because I don't think a lot of people can handle the ginormous, let me say that word. Let me find the right word. Ginormacy of what I put out. And that's the thing. It's like, you're not equipped, just because I'm in Atlanta or just because I'm somewhere that's not Hollywood doesn't mean it has to look that way. Doesn't mean the audio is not right. And so if it doesn't look right, look professional, like shit, that shit is so high end. I did that on a $1 budget. It's about being frugal, being understanding, but hiring the right people. So I realize it's going to have to come from my own platform for it to really move on.
Yeah, and sometimes that's okay, because then you have way more creative freedom over the entirety of the show, what you want to do, how you want to present it, and it's yours. Yep. And
it was tough. It was tough because we filmed it. I had Raz on there. I had Nivea on there. I had Camille from CEJ Images. Like, for the first episode, it was dope. But again, they couldn't edit it right. Then so much miscommunication, and it was just like, this network. I was so disappointed, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. But there are going to be people in your path that's going to come on board and that are going to fulfill some of those roles, like editors and color graders and all those different cinematographers and all that. You got that right. You got that right. So Melinda, man, we've been talking for a while. There's some, y'all don't even know. There's so much more that we can dig into, but I want to be respectful of her time.
Yes, but I got to get to Rotimi's listening party.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Dope. Okay, so major advice, 3 key points that you would give to anybody that wants to get into this music business. What would you tell them?
Don't.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. If you're not ready, and if you're not really open to learning, you're not ready for it. Like, you've got to be thick-skinned, ready for a lot of no's, and you just got to be ready for it. And you got to have the answers, and you got to be willing to invest in yourself, you know? Second one, I would say, be honest. You know, if you're not honest, or if you're not really truthful who you are, you're not ready. This industry has enough cappers. I think that's the word that people use. It's now, be authentic in what you do. Be stern and firm in how you are. Move with integrity, you know? And then the last thing is, have fun. Like this, one of the hashtags I use is, when your job is your playground. Have fun with this. This is fun. You should enjoy anything that you do. And if you don't get paid for it, you still enjoy what you do. So yeah, those are my 3 things. And just and learn.
Oh yeah.
Ask questions. Ask questions.
Ask questions. That's right. So Melinda, thank you very, very much for that advice. Thank you for being here. Oh man, thank you for being here.
You.
I can't wait to see you in person again at one of these events. Maybe I'll come out one day or get invited out one day. Make sure everybody check out the book. Yes, Till Death Do Us Unpart by Melinda Santiago. Make sure you check it out.
Yes.
Melinda, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate this.
Yes,
This is
ma'am.
dope.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Have a great time at the album release party, and I'm sure we'll be in touch as well.
All righty.
All right. Thank you, Melinda.
Peace out.
Peace out. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. So I'm telling you, Melinda Santiago, right? She drops, oh my gosh. Oh man, y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. The wisdom that lives in this lady is amazing. Just the amount of talent and expertise and experience that she has is phenomenal. So make sure you support her as well. But once again, I always tell everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. You can catch our interview segments every Monday and every Thursday here on We Create Music TV. And you can check out all of the things that we do as well on our YouTube channel. We got tons of stuff up there. Go check it out. You know that we provide high quality content for all of you music creators to help empower you, to help give you that information that you need, and to just be here with you on your musical journey. Once again, thank you very much. Have a great evening. And peace out, everybody. Thanks for watching. Peace.